And the last time when they got hit by a hurricane, what was it, last year?
Think so.
There's a good chance it was last year.
Unless I was asleep, I was getting them to send me daily, not daily, hourly updates on whether they were okay or not.
Oh, okay.
Because of how bad that hurricane was last time.
Well, here we go again then. But speaking of here we go again, this looks like the whole entire crew.
Can you hear me at all? Yes.
Yes, you're just very quiet.
Okay.
A little quiet.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Good, good.
Yep, we can hear you loud and clear.
Well, not Chris. He's not loud.
No.
No, I'm still using my sort of subpar work headset at the moment. That'll be why, I imagine.
So he's a guy in a call center currently. Mind you, with that voice, you would sell like an absolute beast if you really wanted to.
Look, I don't want to pay the extra 50 quid for a megabyte more faster internet speed, but if you ask me nicely, I will.
Are you sure? Are you sure, Dave?
Yes. Yeah. I will definitely
really
now.
Appreciate it if you did.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. You convinced me. Okay.
Good man. Good man.
Wow, that was the easiest sell ever.
What? Oh, God damn it.
See, I'm a little more harder to sell to when it comes to call centers. Getting it, I usually just hang up on them.
No, that's fair. It's funny, I actually hate sales. I deliberately find myself a role that does not involve sales as much as possible. I don't like having people what's good for them.
I used to work in the. I used to work for a mobile phone company over here in England.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And that's it. That's all we needed to know. That's it. I just worked for a mobile phone company. You poor man.
Sales driven and everything. My manager. You know when the when you get the like kind of work review.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
My manager said, "Oh, where do you see yourself in 5 years?" I was like, "I don't know, supervisor." And he's like, with how well you sell, I expect you to be at least an assistant manager or a manager. I'm like, what?
Oh, thanks. Aw, thank you.
I did get our store's first ever mystery shopper though.
Were they wearing shades and a moustache?
No, it was.
Well, now I'm disappointed.
It was a woman, so I would have been more suspicious if she was wearing.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
The black cap and the shades and the moustache, and turns out it was a lady this whole time, you know.
Oh, it went really well because I just came at the time. The mobile phone company I was working for was sending the people, the people who worked in the stores, off to like week training camps for customer service. So I stayed in the 5-star hotel and did a whole week of customer service and well, not customer service, but learning how to read body language and stuff like that. It was actually a really good time.
Whereas Mark and I, who both suffer from ADHD and have that whole impulse buying thing, real suckers for this kind of thing, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I just came back. We got the mystery shopper a week after I got back, so I was still like. I still remembered all my all the stuff I learned from there.
And so you could tell through the way that their eyes would move in a certain direction and the slight tug of their mouth every time that they were saying something, that they were lying. You'd learnt
No.
all these body language things that you
No.
were able to see.
No,
Falsehood.
I did not know. I just thought it was a customer.
Ah, well, now you've gone and dispelled all of my illusions.
I'm sorry.
I
did
thought this was
get-
like FBI level spy training you were getting here, and you've gone and said, "No, I hadn't a clue until she said it."
No.
Did it really work then? Is what I want to know.
Well, she didn't tell us. It wasn't until like 2 weeks later when my manager went and called my my phone that he wanted me to go upstairs to the office and have a talk with him. I thought I was gonna get in trouble for doing something wrong, and I wasn't. He told me to go up there because told me about the mystery shopper and told me that I got 100% on it.
Okay, now I've got another mental image. When you went upstairs, was this lady in a swivel chair, but her back was to you first? And as soon as you came up, she span around and went, "It was me all along, David."
No. But,
Oh well, god damn it! Now you're just dispelling all of my illusions.
though it was my manager in a swivel chair who did turn around and go, "Hi, Dave."
It was me.
Sit down. Okay.
Ah,
sit down.
jeez. See, this is it. I have too broad an imagination for these kind of jobs.
Don't feel bad about your impulse buy. I have no control on some stuff too.
Oh yeah. Well, anyway, before we get too much further, I'm afraid I'm going to have to interrupt your story, Dave, because we are 7 minutes into our stream, and people are wondering. I mean, I was on the edge of my seat wondering about this spy training you were getting at a mobile phone company's warehouse, but I worked for a video rental company, and I didn't get to stay in a 5-star hotel, so I'm not bitter at all.
It's only for like 5 days.
Only 5 days.
Well, or is that what they want you to believe? Hypnagogic implantation. No, actually, before I let my brain go off in an entirely different direction now, I'm going to play us our intro video to bring us back onto where I should be, which is Star Trek. Whew, and then we'll get on to some science, so excuse us, guys. We'll be back in a few moments. Hello folks, and welcome along to the continuing adventures of the USS Combs. I am MJ the GM, and I will be your games master for the next couple of hours. With me are the crew of the Combs, whole and entire, although not necessarily sane and entire. I count myself among that number. In any case, before we get too much further, there is one person I have to plug above all others, so Christopher?
Hello. You'll never guess what. I'm going to beat that drum. So Phoenix Wright is coming. It is actually coming. I wrote about 600 words the other day. But yeah, in the meantime, got some retro reviews there on my channel. Please feel free to swing by. And yeah, more coming soon-ish.
Now, it was correctly pointed out to me that last time we left this current episode, Contaminant, we hadn't actually done science. And for a show all about science, that is unforgivable. So we're going to go back to science for a moment before we get back to the conclusion of our episode. So, if I look at the list of stuff we had boiling away, there was the creation of AI repair droids for the ship, which I believe was a Phlesc job.
Mm-hmm.
There was also Tavish was working on a 5-step plan to create an actual functioning displacement-activated spore hub drive for the combs. And Gerkow was also producing a pheromonal scanner.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to remind me to what end that was going towards.
That was for a personal nose implant. Well, eye implant.
Giving Gerkow the ability to track by scent, right. I see.
Even more so.
Okay, so we've got 3 projects at least going on there. Was anybody else getting in on the science action? Because I don't think Dr. Sott has had any science experiments for some time.
No, I'm good for the time being, thank you.
So... And Bonnet, of course, has had 1 or 2 science experiments, but for the time being...
That was Tavish. Tavish is the one that had all the science experiments.
That was it. You were doing a co-sciencing with. Okay, groovy. So let's jump to deck 1 because we are probably going to need some assistance from our supporting cast. So let's have a look-see-loo. Now, obviously, these guys in the middle of the of deck 1 on the bridge are currently on an away mission, so they will be available afterwards. But of course, this is supposed to be the science projects going on before the episode, so they are still available to assist or to do their own science missions as a result of... thank you, Mark. As a result of doing some of this stuff. So, who wants to go first? Are we doing Gerkow's sniffer? Are we doing Tavish's spore hub drive? Or are we doing the revitalizing of the dot repair droids by Phlesc? Who wants first dibs on who gets to help whom?
Who can I actually use? And who would be better served doing something else?
Well, last time we were here, you were looking at utilizing emergency repairs as the avenue of investigation. So anybody with that kind of focus would be helpful to your efforts. So we're probably talking one of the engineering crew.
Yeah, but that's assuming... neither... I can't think. I've been in the field for too long. Tavish doesn't need anyone. I don't think anyone else would need... Like, Gerkow wouldn't need the engineers.
Mm-mm.
But no one's really got a focus in repair, apart from me and maybe Zonvagor? Nope, sensors.
Nope, Zonvagor is about them transporters. And maintaining his composure whilst everybody is asking him for transporters in a stressful situation. You will have transporters when I am good and ready, Captain. Apparently that's what Zonvagor sounds like.
I don't think anyone really has a focus that applies for repairs, so... Yeah.
So, Phlesc doing this all on his lonesome.
You can take one of my engineers if you really want.
I'll just take whoever's got there. So...
They should be more or less equal, but...
Zorani is
4 versus Kenson's 8-4. So Kenson is more about the discipline and less about the prototype science type of stuff. So it seems like Juaran is the one who's more geared towards the thinking.
And I don't really have a focus myself, so it's just going to be a regular roll from me and dragging in Zorani.
Okay then. Can we have Liz, since you've not got any current science projects, we'll stick you as Juaran, please. Giving it reason and engineering, just 1 dice, no foci. Phlesc, you getting 2 dice, reason and engineering. Ooh, hello! That was very good. by
Nice.
Girani.
Thank you, Girani.
That was awesome source by Girani. Girani came up with a very good idea during that particular round of whatevers. So as a result, you are 3 further in than you were before, which means, yes, the numbers are in. The simulations are close to being completed. This is the last leg of the journey now. You think you have a handle on how you're going to do this? Without Isn't it weird how Liz gets her best rolls at the beginning and they eventually wind down? It happened last time, if I recall. But there we are, not
Wind
bad.
down? No, they fluctuate massively. High, low, high, low.
Well,
There's no middle ground.
you did call yourself the Lady of Chaos at one point, didn't you, Liz?
I am the goddess of chaos.
Well, there you go, then. Be right back. Ne problemski, Chris. In that case, that was good. So, honing in on the end of that. So, next one, I suppose, is going to be... Well, does Gerkow want to do some work on this scent thing, or should we jump to Tavish doing the Spore Hub drive?
Depends which avenue we're taking right now. Is it still a medical, biological?
You were looking at psychology for some reason.
Ah, so I could study the pheromones associated with each emotion and any sciencey stuff that comes along with it.
Plus, psychology would be the means by which you would recondition yourself to be able to process this new data without being overwhelmed. So, it's not a bad avenue now that I think about it. Psychology, of course. Well, psychiatry is Dr. Sott's domain, and Chris has just gone.
I can wait then. We
You
also
can wait.
have Councillor
Oh yes, of
Sacks,
course, Councillor Sacks. Well, you could get both of them involved and double your chances.
Yeah, I'll let Tavish's Spore Drive go first then.
Alrighty.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay then, so when we were last looking at you creating the mycelial reaction cube, you were looking at utilizing quantum mechanics as the avenue of investigation. So that suggests Ensign Malcolm Eversion as the best possible candidate to assist you.
Okay.
So since that's one of Connie's crew, Connie may as well be Malcolm Eversion. So this is going to be, since it's for him it's science, for Tavish it's, well, it's going to be the engineering side of this, since it's technically quantum mechanics. So his is the theoretical, yours is the actual. So that will work for me. So, yeah, as far as Tavish's things go as well, experimental technology goes well with this kind of thing as a focus. So Tavish can use experimental technology as a focus with reason and engineering, whereas Eversion rolls 1 dice and gives us reason and science with a focus. Now, I do believe Eversion has got assistant, so that he is able to re-roll his assisting dice if necessary. This is not part of an extended task, so...
What is it, attributes-wise?
Reason and engineering for Tavish.
Okie dokie.
See how well you do. Not bad, not bad. 2 successes for Tavish. And, ooh, it was almost not, but it's very much a big set of successes for Eversion. He has some cracking ideas as well. That is 4. You've reached the end of it.
Nice.
You have successfully theorized, worked out the maths for, run the tests on, and managed to successfully build a working mycelial reaction cube. So, the rough-hewn one that you created that one time to rescue Captain Sobek from the mycelial realm has been used as a basis but that was from using Discovery's redacted notes at that you managed to hack. But this is you now working out the bugs of that old system and adding your own flair to it, and as a result you've got your own working reaction cube. So this is the part of the ship that can be filled with mycelial spores in order to link the ship to the mycelial realm on the quantum level, so that both can interact and exist in the same space. So that is one successful stage completed. So thanks to Eversion for that. Your next step will be creating subspace field spinners. In order to create that rotating, spinning subspace field the ship needs in order to enter the mycelial realm without bouncing off of the protective skin, you might call it, of the mycelial realm. But that is for next time. So there we are, another very successful science experiment. We've got Dr. Sott back, which means that we can do Gerkow's experimentation with psychology, as well as Councillor Sachs. So, Marky Mark, could you fancy being Councillor Sachs?
Oh, I suppose so.
Well, if I gotta be the one member of the team that sucks.
So, reason and medicine?
It's going to be reason and medicine with a focus on psychology. Dr. Sott can also get in on the action with 1 dice, as long as Chris is actually back. There he is.
So, what am I doing as the 1 dice, sorry?
With 1 dice, you are giving us reason and medicine with Dr. Sott's focus in psychiatry.
Thank you.
With Gerkow, however, it's going to be all down to reason and science. Just that on its own. Nothing else can really help you here.
Not even God focus.
Eh.
The probability of Councillor Sachs actually doing something.
Well, as you've just been proven wrong, so we're just going to have to go with Gerkow's brain power. And bloody hell, look at what you just did. See, brain power wins in the end, especially when it comes to science.
Councillor Sachs.
Oh.
Wow.
Councillor Sachs is just the black sheep of our crew.
Oh, she's in that title.
Yeah. Well, that was some huge amount of progress made in that regard. And so, yeah, psychology as a means of trying to work around mental barriers to do with information processing, because every humanoid brain is slightly different, but there are enough similarities that you can cross barriers. Interesting. Needed research. You chewed through most of that, so the end is in sight for this. A bit more investigation, and you should have pursued this to its extremes, as far as you can get to it. So that's not bad. Oh, jeez, Mark, really? I'm not sure I want to say that out loud. I might get more people leaving the stream than I will be joining. There we go. Okay. Cool, so that's our science. Not bad. That was some awesome science. But for now, let us leave science and wibble ourselves forward in time to where we last left ourselves. Now, if you remember, your ship was guarding the border between the Federation and Klingon Empire when your ship came across indications that there was a contaminant present on a pre-warp civilization that shouldn't have been there. A contaminant that's usually, pardon me, indications of spacefaring vessels. Hydrazine, usually used as fuel for shuttlecraft and other orbital and atmospheric capable craft. And what you discovered was there was indeed a leak that was going into the local water supply, and you managed to... the away team disguised themselves as Juarans, who are bald humanoid people with a shiny metallic sheen to their skin. and as a result, they don't wear an awful lot. So folks who were going down had to have a bit of cosmetic surgery in order to pass themselves off as locals, whereas the emergency medical drone, however, just had to disguise himself a little bit. Yes, indeed, shiny and chrome. Is this the mark we get when he's not had that much sleep?
Yes. Also, I'm losing my voice, so I'll probably use chat more.
Fine, fair. And yes, well, you know, shaving head was optional because they have solved the follically challenged problem, but skull caps, prosthetics were made available. But yes, the away team's down on planet and was investigating and had found crash site of a Klingon shuttle, and sure enough, a Klingon woman came out and said, "Who are you? Be gone, or I'll kill you." And that was where we left it, essentially. So, unless there's any questions, then I'm going to move us on to where we were with that very Klingon lady and the shuttle.
Ooh, hello. I've not had a chance to use this.
Palm leaf of Pegasi, yes, indeed. Peace mission. So, what's permission when attempting a persuade task to prevent violence? The character may automatically succeed at the task by spending momentum equal to the task's difficulty. 2, essentially.
Yep, so I want to convince her to stand down. She's outnumbered.
She's
outnumbered. We're here to help. I'm very good at persuasion. And I'm just a natural negotiator. We'll forget about earlier.
Yes.
But I'm familiar with Klingons, and
Yes, you are.
So I want to use this to spend. Did you say it was a difficulty 2?
Yes. Dave, you were going to say something.
Oh.
After Phlesk's awful negotiations, I mean, fantastic negotiations.
No, you were right the first time.
I am willing to help Phlesc out and use advisor if you want.
No, we automatically succeed.
Yes, by using his Palm of Pegasi Peace Mission Award, he gets to automatically succeed at the task.
Getting her to stand down and put down her weapon, so we can have a conversation. So I'm just going to steal the 2 momentum from the pool now. So she puts down her weapon and we can actually talk about what on earth is going on.
So, yes, after keeping Mr. Phlesc, Commander Phlesc, at the back, in order to make sure that he doesn't do the same linguistic faux pas that he did earlier, this time Phlesc inserts himself into the situation without other people giving anyone else any warning, but does use his very, very, very practiced diplomatic talking down in order to try and prevent violence. And so, yes, it kind of takes everyone a bit by surprise, but it's a relief that he's regained his mojo, as it were. So, Phlesc very much stepping forward.
Why didn't you do this earlier, Phlesc?
Because there wasn't a threat of violence.
That's true.
I was trying to charm them, and my normal, incredible aura just wasn't present. Something to do with the chromy look. Instead of being able to charm people, it was just reflecting away.
Indeed.
Whatever
helps you sleep at night, right? Yeah.
Yeah, whatever helps you sleep at night, buddy.
I'm going to have to talk to Dr. Sott about this.
Sadly, Dr. Sott is back on the ship, so the closest you've got is the emergency medical drone.
And that is very poor conversation.
Oh, we haven't. It is not, and don't. And this voice in my head, don't call it just a medical emergency medical drone. This is a person.
Thank you. At least one of you acknowledges it. just looks over at Gerkow, who's just not paying any attention to him.
Honestly, everyone asks what is the emergency medical drone. No one asks how is the emergency medical drone.
Or indeed,
Exactly.
why is the
Hold on.
emergency medical drone?
Hold on. Why are there more voices in my head than Nilil? What's going on here?
Tavish, you're awake.
Oh,
Your eyes are open. You are hearing the sound of birds that you might be hearing right now. Those are actual birds. Okay. In which case, the lady Klingon steps forward with a. She's got her dagger out, her duck targ, but it looks. Now that you see her standing there and she lowers it, the duck targ itself looks pretty worn, almost blunted, which is unusual because, of course, the duck targ is a highly prized weapon of a warrior, so it's very much as a status sign as it is anything else, and this is also the weapon upon which your family crest is born. So for a Klingon, it's unusual to have left their ceremonial dagger, the duck targ, to be, well, worn down like it appears to have been.
excuse me. I do not know your name.
She takes a couple of steps forward, still giving you a bit of a wary glance, but she declares herself. My name is Dyneth. Who would you
Okay,
be?
Dynef. I am Tavish. I am part of Starfleet. Just to make sure, is there any more of the crew of this crew or anything else, so we can at least try and give you medical aid?
I need no medical aid.
Is there any more of your crew who need medical aid? Or is there just you?
She looks at the shuttle for a moment and then looks back. There's only me. I was the sole occupant of this shuttle, and therefore I'm its sole survivor.
Okie dokie. If you are okay with it, I am an engineer. I can have a look at your shuttle if you would like me to see if I can fix it.
She looks Tavish up and down, looks Phlesc up and down. Garrow is being typically Garrow at this point and has got one hand on the pouch where his Type 2 phaser is at, but is otherwise not drawing it because following the lead of the senior officers. What are Gerkow and the emergency medical drone doing at this point?
Gerkow is scanning the area while all this talk is going on.
Anything in particular, or just the sea?
I would say for the ship, and then just scanning for the traces of that. What's that thing?
Was it called again? Hydrazine.
Yes, exactly.
I forgot there for a moment. Do pardon me. Absolutely. Go ahead. I'll allow you to use your extravehicular activity focus here because you are essentially scanning over a vehicle.
Okay, so that's reason and science.
Yes.
Extravehicular.
Utilizing a tricorder. Just once again, removing himself. One success. Okay, cool. So, just zoom back here a minute. So, the shuttle, the Klingon shuttlecraft appears to have taken a fair amount of damage. Most of it from impact, although as the combs itself detected, there was a certain degree of weapons fire that was detected and can be found traces of which can be found on the outer hull of the shuttle. Of main concern, of course, is the fact that its fuel appears to be leaking, and the source of the leak can be found where I am currently pinging. It is spilling out in a trickle rather than a flood, but it's been going on for enough time now that it has trickled all the way down and is entering into this natural reservoir by here. As far as being able to fly again, this shuttle would probably take at least a week to get flight-worthy again, most notably because it's a Klingon ship and therefore it's probably not as well made as a Starfleet ship.
Phlesc is just going to ask as well. Tavish is trying to be helpful. So you do realise you're poisoning this area with this leak, right? What are you doing here? What's happened?
Dineth
So
looks at the ship and then goes over to where Gerkow was scanning. And she just looks at it and says, that there seeping out is what's causing a problem?
Yeah. What is this? What are you doing here? How did you get here?
She looks
How
you
long
all
have you-
up and down. Sorry, go on.
How long have you been here? This has been going on for a while.
Matt,
Yo,
can I start walking towards where the leak is, please?
sure. As soon as Tavish makes one step, Dineth tenses. But then as she sees Tavish moving in the direction of the leak, she relaxes. And she seems to release a tension in her shoulders and neck. And she addresses pretty much everyone, but is looking more in the direction of Phlesc and Garrow, and by extension the EMD and Gerkow. As I said, I am Dineth, and I am, or rather I was, the foremost weapons expert in the Empire. I am one of
what do
the
you mean?
Empire's chief weapon makers.
What do you mean, was?
I found the war against the Federation to be dishonorable. A belief driven more so by the fact that during the last few months I have been pressed to creating new and more destructive weapons.
Oh, I like her. not for the reasons you may think. Hey, she's an engineer. I like engineers.
Sadly, I am no engineer. I
So
am
how
a
did you
weapons expert.
come to be here? What are you doing here?
I was
Leaking
fleeing.
poison.
As I have just said, I am a weapons expert, which means that my sole focus for most of my life has been the creation of weapon systems. As a result, I have let my other engineering-based skills slide. I confess I was only able to avoid capture thanks to my ability to know how Klingon weapon systems function inside and out. Even with a moderately armed shuttlecraft, I was able to elude capture for a short amount of time, but sadly, not forever.
Evade capture from the Empire?
Indeed. I no longer serve the Empire.
And whom do you serve?
At the moment, nobody. I have dishonored my family and everyone associated with me by refusing to create the weapons that Gowron and the High Council have ordered me to. In refusing such an order, I have brought dishonor upon myself and my family. But I cannot, in good conscience, live with myself if I make the weapons that Gowron and the High Council were asking me to. It is not the way honourable warriors conduct war.
Well, that's nice to hear, but we should really address this leak that's causing problems to the pre-warp civilization here.
I'm
Yes.
already here.
Yeah, no, but I'm trying to then lead it into a, like, let us help you fix this because this is why we're here. Is there anything else on the ship that's going to be a problem?
No,
Because
nothing will be a problem.
Okay. What exactly is your plan? Because we can give you safe haven within the Federation. Political asylum.
She narrows her eyes at this, and you wonder if it's actual suspicion or if it's habit, because she doesn't seem to hold on to that suspicion for too long, but does turn to look at the state that the shuttle is in, and looking now at Tavish having a look at where the leak is coming from, she nods and acquiesces. By all means, attend to the shuttle. I in all honesty, I have no clue how to fix it. Any of it.
Okay.
Tavish
Can
and I
I-
can deal with this, but let Tavish do it to start with, and I'll help if needed. But I'm going to try and convince her that we need to get this ship off the planet because it's a pre-warp civilization and fix the leak. So, as in clean up the spill.
Garrow.
That would be Liz.
Can you make a could you go and make sure that nobody comes close to this site, any of the natives?
The good thing about
sorry.
being this high up is that this bit has a reasonably good view of the surrounding area, so Garrow doesn't have to go too far in order to get a good view of the path that you took to come up here. So, yeah, he can still be within pretty much shouting distance and visual distance.
Just climbs on top of one of these.
Well, yeah, precisely.
Gerkow, can you and the doctor see if you can do, if you can try and negate the stuff coming out from the ship in the water at all?
That's a good point.
See if
The
see
medical
if there's
guys are going to have a go at that, yeah.
See if there's anything in the natural habitat which will counteract the chemicals.
Ooh, that's an interesting avenue of investigation. Yeah. All right. Looking for natural ways to counteract the contaminant. Okay, cool. Phlesc, what's Phlesc doing at this point?
I was just about to ask Phlesc.
There we are.
Phlesc, can you help me out repairing, as you are actually probably better at repairing than I am, though. If we can do this, then we can have a look at the ship as well, and I can see what I can do with the ship. We can't keep the ship here, and we haven't brought enough things to transport a ship off of the planet.
Alright, let's try and get this patched up then. Let's fix the leak first, then work
Sorry,
out how to clean it.
I know you're my commanding officer, one of my commanders.
You're asking for help. You're asking for my help.
Yes, but I've just been giving orders to everybody, so.
And
No,
if you could get me like a coffee as well, 2 sugars. That'd be-
Considering
Yeah,
the only
so,
coffee around would be from a Klingon ship, one can only imagine. Go on, Mark.
Good point. 3 sugars, please.
Dineth?
Dineth, yes.
Dineth? Would you like to come and have a look at what me and Phlesc are doing? Even though you say that your engineering is subpar, maybe you'll learn something from me and Phlesc.
She arches an eyebrow at that.
We are very accomplished engineers.
Modest,
And
too,
I
it
must-
seems.
And
I
Perseus-
must
on.
ask though, is your replicator working? Is it possible for us to get some Ractaginos as we work?
She definitely raises an eyebrow at that. If there were Ractaginos available, why would I be subsisting off of green things?
Okey-dokey.
I thought I'd ask. It's been a while. I do fancy a good original Ractagino.
Okay.
Dineth sighs.
So,
Oh, so do I.
Kronos blind.
All right. Let's sort the leak out, because then, the Doctor and Gerkow then don't have to, try and compensate for all this leaking stuff coming out.
Although, utilising natural resources to do so is an interesting proposition, so let's go there first. Well, as it turns out, Gerkow has got botany as a focus.
I remember. I remembered that, because I was like, actually, I think that may work.
Now that I look at the emergency medical drone, has the value of walking talking database of medical knowledge, so Would it be, though? Surgery, internal medicine? It wouldn't be either of those. Well, actually. No, it wouldn't be any of those. The Doctor would have to just use pure talent, reason and medicine, which is not insignificant in its own way, so I would probably recommend Gerkow lead the charge on that one, since the Doctor, the EMD, doesn't really have a focus, but does have good medical knowledge nonetheless. So let's have a look. Let's have you guys have a look for something in the local area that could possibly be used to counteract the contaminant. So reason and medicine from both. The EMD without a focus, but Gerkow using her botany focus.
I
Oh, blimey!
Oh,
hoo-hoo!
that was close.
would like to spend a momentum. Can I use instead my value of eco warrior?
Ooh.
Because I'm
You
so
prefer
determined
to
clean
use
this up.
stuff in the local area? Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense to me.
And my one medicine. Oh. So that's rolling one dice with a dedicated focus.
You are rolling one dice with a dedicated focus and tacking. Sounds like you're using determination to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Then check off a use of determination. Rolling one dice and dedicated focus by all means.
What? What? Okay. There's something. But
That was close! Because you use determination, you do get 2 successes, and the emergency medical drone got 1, which is 3, which is not an insignificant number, so you do get a momentum point back there. Right, okay. As it turns out, deep in these rock formations here, there is a mineral, which otherwise would have been rather difficult to find had the ship, the Klingon shuttle here, not crashed through a few of them and opened up these lovely sparkling mineral deposits found within. These mineral deposits are found with only a small amount of modification to be able to bond to the hydrogen atoms found in the hydroxine? Or is it hydrazine, pardon me. Now, whether or not I'm talking absolute scientific garbage here is up to those who know more about this kind of thing than me. But nevertheless, on this planet, these mineral deposits have got a way of bonding to the majority of the hydrazine molecules in order to essentially weigh them down so that they drop to the bottom of the water, essentially, and turning themselves into little rocks and mineral deposits. So you're not totally, completely eliminating the presence of this pollutant, but you are lessening its presence and therefore its effect. Which means, as long as nothing else comes along and adds its own contamination to the water supply, it should sort itself out over a period of time. So, good find, y'all. Gerkow, so far so good. No one seems to have noticed any. I mean, nobody apparently has been up this way for some time, so Gerkow doesn't notice any indication that a curious soul is coming up in this direction. Whereas Phlesc and Tavish can at least give me a preliminary... Let's think. Preliminary reason and engineering to see how much work this is going to be to have a go at fixing this thing.
Have I got any focuses? I don't think I have.
You've got loads, but it's irrelevant.
Sadly, yes. You're all about engines and stuff, and this is giving a shuttlecraft a once over to see the badness of its damage. Badness? That was a bit of a weak word.
Do you want us to both roll too?
I will allow you to decide amongst yourselves who is aiding and who is leading.
I think you should lead because you've got one more, so you should roll the 2 dice. I do have a focus, but I'll roll the focus for 1 die.
Okay.
Because I could go with metallurgy or manufacturing, starship design. So
yeah, you can go with either of those.
1 die with a focus.
Oh, not bad at all from Tavish. And somewhat weaker on Phlesc. He put all of his all into the diplomacy earlier, and so is looking over the shuttle, going, yeah, interesting. Tavish, help me here.
Can I try and use this?
Roll benefit. Reduce the opportunity cost of an engineering team.
No, it's the next one.
Further, when you attempt a task to perform repairs to a starship beyond its normal limits, you may spend a momentum to reroll d20. Sure. If you want to. You got 2 successes.
We're not repairing yet, though. We're just investigating. But keep that there. We'll be using... We might need that later.
I saw it. I was looking at what I got into my talents to see what I could do for repairs. And perfectly honest, this is the only one which, at the moment, would help.
But, well, let's face it. Tavish is very much used to doing everything about the engines and the power systems on a very large ship. Yeah. So, you know. But nevertheless, Tavish does successfully diagnose that this ship, this small shuttle, has seen... it suffered damage on the... In fact, the thruster nacelle that's leaking... not the nacelle that's leaking. The side of the ship that was struck is the one that was leaking, that was hit by what looks like a disruptor beam. So this would seem to suggest a very strong element of truth to Dyneth's story, that she was... She essentially said no and left, and she was pursued. Because the blast pattern would indicate a disruptor weapon rather than a phaser. And the rest of the damage is consistent with what you can see, which is impact damage from a crash. The amount of impact damage is... It lends credence to Dyneth saying that she's good at one thing, because an actual pilot with any degree of competent training would have at least been able to create more of a controlled descent than this shuttle seems to have endured. So, yeah, you get the impression this thing probably belly flopped a few times before it came to rest. So, getting this thing up and running again is possible, but it will take a while to do. And it's whilst you're working on this, Dyneth is just resting up against the ship, watching Gerkow keep watch, looking at Gerkow and the EMD as they're chiseling away at these mineral deposits. And she just starts conversationally talking. I'm afraid I am not much of an engineer at all, so the fact that that leak escaped my notice... Well, I left the ship almost the moment it crashed. The replicator doesn't work, so I decided to live a more peaceful life out here. Just hunting for my food. And occasionally making sculptures. And she indicates the shards of ship hull that came loose. And, yeah, the pieces of ship hull that were sticking up out of the ground looked more like they were placed rather than that was where they landed. And you had noticed some, like, scrimshoring on some of the plates, the hull plates that had come loose. And she's now looking at you all with an expectant look of, what do you think?
I really like them.
Now, Tavish, having no knowledge or appreciation of art whatsoever...
Nope.
Is there anybody here who would consider their character having a degree of art appreciation?
No, but Phlesc would be... Let's just patch this hole so we can clean this up.
Yeah.
On the planet, no. In space, yes.
Well, you know... Garrow is a Bajoran, and Bajorans have a very artistic
Bonnet,
side.
probably?
Yeah. Dave, you're going to say something.
Sott prefers the finer things.
And Sott's not here, sadly, so, yeah.
Yes, Bonnet enjoys the arts. It's why her favorite thing to do is reenact down into Abbey.
I'm going to take Can I take a photo of the sculpture and send it back to the...
You take a scan of the sculpture using your tricorder, yes. Yeah.
Fantastic.
The only one who brought their holographer was the EMD.
But he doesn't have it?
I'm gonna send the scan back to the Combs.
Couldn't you take a mental image of it with Nilo?
Oh yeah, I can. Yeah, I can take.
And then show it later.
All right, I am gonna stand right in front of the sculpture, and I'm gonna keep on going up and down, and I'm gonna keep on going around the sculpture.
Getting a full 3D appreciation of it, whilst Phlesc is there doing the work. Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sigh and fix this hole. Fix the leak. Just, oh dear.
Look,
okay.
I diagnosed it. Get on with it. Sir.
So, Nylil is taking all this in and just goes...
This is garbage.
Well, this is something I'm going to have to teach you. To appreciate art. And we can learn that together.
I have assimilated all known instances of human, denobulan, Tellarite, Klingon art. This is garbage.
You know what? I'm glad you can't... Alright. I'm gonna have to... When we get back, yeah, we're gonna talk about manners and politeness, okay?
I am in your head. I only need to be polite with you.
Yeah, but eventually... no, I'm not going to tell you that. Anyway. Don't worry.
At this point, Dyneth is looking at Tavish, having this conversation with herself over here somewhere, and it leans in towards Phlesc and goes, "Is she quite sane?"
No, but she's talented.
Should we be letting her near something? This is a fuel leak, you told me.
Don't worry, she's off looking at the art, so it's safe if I just fix this.
At least someone's appreciating my art attempts.
Look, we'll talk when we get back home, okay?
At least,
I don't like it when you use that tone of voice with me.
Look, you're not in trouble or anything like that. It's just, after looking at this art, yes, we will go back and fixing whatever we need to fix here. Yes, we will go back, and as I said, I need to make sure. I want you to grow your own personality and stuff.
Are you suggesting that I do not have a personality?
No, you do. It's great.
Combs, one
And
engineer
yet,
to beam up.
it needs work?
What was that? Sorry, Chris, I missed that.
I said, Combs, one engineer to beam up, please, with a meet. Just have that little domestic in their quarters.
Look. I'm not saying. Look, everybody needs improvements. Even I need improvements. That's the thing about being a being is you always should try to improve yourself. In a
Tavish
good way.
waits a couple of seconds, expecting a response, and Tavish isn't sure what she finds more unsettling. The silence? Or what?
Oh, you're not mad with me. You're not giving me the silent treatment, are you? Actually, if you are giving me the silent treatment, that's pretty cool. Are you giving me the silent treatment? As she's walking back over to the ship. As she's saying this.
Dyneth is still just staring at Tavish. It's like, she hit her head once too many times, perhaps.
Hello.
Not once.
How's everything going?
More than one too many times.
I see.
Can you not see the modifications to her cranium?
Ah,
I think that may clarify for you the extent of the damage.
and yet she is your chief engineer.
Like I said, very talented.
Hello.
What
What are you two talking about?
Oh, don't worry. I was just asking Dyneth, as Phlesc is fixing, if this shuttle had cloaking. So if we can't get it off the planet right away, we can at least hide it.
Yes, that is. Does it have? Can it cloak itself?
Right, it does not. I had to grab the closest thing. This is a civilian class transport.
Alright, we'll have to get this airborne at some point.
Hold on. Is there any way we can use?
No, Tavish. I want to fix this leak.
Right. Alright. Fix the leak. Alright. Is that? I'm just.
You go out and have a play. Go play in the ship.
I'm just thinking, if it's going to take us a while, yes. I mean, the people in the village are going to, well, at least one of them's going to be suspicious. The fact that if we stay up here for too long, they're going to come looking for us.
Would they?
We can come back to the ship to do repairs later.
No,
once we fix the leak.
It's hiding. It's hiding the ship. Do you think we'll be able to get any holographic
screening? Okay.
Holographic emitters to put a screen around the ship so it looks like there's nothing here.
That's a good idea. Why don't you go over to Gara and send a signal to the ship? I'll fix this now. I want to fix the leak.
Okay. Fine. You fix the leak.
Just as you start getting yourselves ready to patch up the leak and whatnot, that is when you get comm badge chirp. And if you'll give me a moment. Combs to away team.
This is the away team.
We may have a problem, Commander. And I'm going to stop that scene there and wind us back in time a little bit as I take us to the bridge of the Combs.
Oh no.
So, investigating orbit. So, a few minutes earlier, so just for proper what's its sake, remember these guys in the middle here are actually the away team that are elsewhere, so they're not actually present on the bridge at this specific moment in time. Meanwhile, a few minutes before all that happened, the rest of the Combs crew are currently aboard ship and are in orbit, keeping themselves out of the general way. And Captain Sobek turns towards your comm officer, Ensign Ravalon, and says, "Ensign, any word back from Starfleet yet on the message we sent them?" Ensign Ravalon turns around and says, "Negative, Captain. So far, no response from Starfleet. They should have received our report by now, so a reply should be imminent." At which point, I am going to give a sensor alert as Lieutenant Dufresne notices something awry on the sensors. Lieutenant Dufresne, whilst looking at the sensor screen and that little alert, is noticing a sudden surge of tachyons off of your starboard bow at about 10,000 kilometers distance.
No.
And the reason I paused was just in case Connie wanted to get in there, since Dufresne is one of her science guys.
Captain! Actually, no,
You don't have to do an accent if you don't think you can.
I don't. Get down, this tachyon.
Ooh,
Après
I
the
like it.
tachyon of the bow on the sensor.
I like the French accent.
Oh,
I could have done.
you see?
Mais oui. Right, before I get carried away trying to do French impersonations here. Yes. Surge in tachyons. At which point, if I can find it, there is a further sensor alert on both tactical and navigation, as the tachyon surge indicates a ship decloaking. I'm going to pull us momentarily to our space map.
Oof.
As this is the combs in orbit of the planet, and a Klingon ship does indeed decloak. Folks here should recognize the configuration of the ship. Not that I'm saying it's that exact ship. I am saying you recognize the model of ship.
Is it a Klingon ship?
It is a Vorcha-class attack cruiser.
Sorry.
It's not the Mapui, is it?
It's not the Mapui. The Mapui was a cavort, which is essentially a really big bird of prey. This is a Vorcha-class attack cruiser.
This is massive, isn't it? Is it like...
This is bigger than yours. This is bigger than you are, yeah, by a step.
Okay.
So the Combs is a scale 4 vessel, a Vorcha, pardon me, is a scale 5 vessel. It's not the biggest the Klingons have got. That would be the... Ooh, hell's bells now, my knowledge is being tested. I'm going to have to look. Because I can't remember the name of it. Klingon ships, the Burrell, the Cavort. The Navar, that was it. The Navar class was the biggest one. And that's a whopper.
What did you say this was a Vorcha ship?
A Vorcha class attack cruiser, yes.
Is it one that's particularly heavily modified?
No.
Can we tell that? Okay.
As interesting as that would have been to do, I would have introduced a certain degree of character switching if that was the case, but no, I'm not going to make you do that.
Not yet, at least.
Not yet. Yes, so back on the bridge, everybody on screen sees the Vorcha-class attack cruiser decloak. At which point, Ensign Akos asks, "Shields up, Captain?" And Captain Sobek says, "Negative. If they wanted to fire upon us, they'd have done so already." At which point, Ensign Ravalon turns around and says, "Captain, we are getting a message from the Klingons." There is a moment's pause, as Captain Sobek nods and says, "On screen." And sure enough, an image of a Klingon captain comes onto the viewing screen. He doesn't look that old. He would be the equivalent of a human male in his 30s, so, you know, someone who is at least experienced enough to have earned their captaincy. But Vorcha is a lot bigger, so the bridge space behind him is a lot more capacious, so filled with a lot more Klingon warriors going about their business on the various stations that they have on board of the command bridge. Pardon me, I have to activate the voice modulator. "I am Captain Mokvar of the Klingon ship Dax. We are pursuing a..." Hang on, Matt has just completely lost the word he was looking for. I was about to say refugee. That is not the right word. The problem with having ADHD is that occasionally you forget words.
Fugitive?
Fugitive, thank you. God, how many times have I rehearsed this and I forgot the word?
Fugitive, rogue.
Thank you. Fugitive was the word.
Traitor.
We are pursuing a fugitive who was last viewed in this sector. Are you aware of any such individual?
Well, this is a bit further back in time, so we don't know.
Exactly.
So we're investigating a pollutant leak.
You are indeed. And that's precisely what Captain Sobek says. "We have no knowledge of any such individual, I am afraid, Captain. Our mission here was to investigate the presence of a contaminant in the local water supply that should not be present on a pre-warp civilization." "I warn you, Captain. You are outside of your jurisdiction. Any fugitive from Klingon justice must be turned over to us immediately." "As you know, Captain, Vulcans cannot lie. I am telling you the truth. And we are currently unaware of any such individual. But I would also remind you that Juara is also not within Klingon space, and therefore you are outside of your jurisdiction." "Very well. If you at any point become aware of any such individual on the planet's surface, or in the system, you will notify us immediately." And he just signs off. It's at that point that the sensors cast an alert, once again, as the ship recloaks. It has disappeared from view. So give me a moment as I recloak it. So, yes, interesting. The plot thickens. Captain Sobek taps his lip for a little bit and does look around the bridge to see, to try and gauge the reactions of everybody else, before he nods towards Ensign Ravalon and says, "Ensign, encode the next comm signal using Starfleet encoder method Epsilon 4 and scramble it in such a way that it cannot be traced to an area on the planet's surface where the away team will be picking up our transmission. So, this is where I want you to be Ensign Ravalon. So what I'm going to do here is I'm very much imposing my will here by activating Ensign Ravalon and taking away another point from your free crew support list. But
who's taking Ensign Ravalon?
Who would like to take Ensign Ravalon is going to be assisted by the ship, by the Combs itself. And Ensign Ravalon is going to be using his encryption-decryption focus. So if there's another character that wants to assist as well as have the ship assist, now would be the time to bring them in. Anyone here has got anything to do with encryption, decryption, encoding, that kind of thing, it should be now brought in. Or, of course, someone could be Captain Sobek or Lieutenant Commander Lian Zhang and use their command ability to guide them through the process. So, what would you like to do? Would you like to do anything else, or would you like to just stick it to Ravalon?
I don't think there's anybody else who could help. I'm not too sure.
Okay, if that's the case,
the people who could probably help are in the away team.
So, in that case, I would like to nominate Liz if you could be the Combs, and Chris if you could be Ensign Ravalon, since you guys haven't had an awful lot to do at this present moment in time. Let's get you some roll-ins. So the ship only rolls 1 dice and is probably rolling communications and security, whereas Ensign Ravalon is using control and science, because the science of communications. Utilizing
the
the
ship
focus.
have a focus?
Yes, the ship is always treated like it's got a focus when it assists. That is not bad from Ensign Ravalon, and that is just as good from the Combs. That is 3, so that is 1 over and above. So that's essentially, you've now set the difficulty that the Klingons have to exceed or beat in order to try and intercept any such communication. So this is where I have a sneaky little... Ooh. Let's go with... What would they use? It would have to be that. It would have to be this. Can you see those results?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I saw the dice rolling. I don't see the result on the little
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's just me keeping it to myself then.
I don't like that.
Okay. All right
I
then.
had a feeling they got 3.
All right then. So in that case, this is where Captain Sobek says, Ensign Ravalon, open a secure communications channel. Holmes to away team. And this is where Tavish responded. Commander, we may have a problem.
What problem is that, sir?
Well, let's go back down to the crash site. A Klingon ship has just entered orbit. It is now cloaked, but they claim they are pursuing a, well, fugitive from justice. Are you aware of any such individual on the planet?
Gerkow just looks at...
I am, sir, yes.
Klingons like, oops.
Though, I believe she's looking for political asylum.
Indeed. This is an interesting development.
Yes.
Who is she?
Her name is Dianef. She is a weapons specialist in the Klingon Empire. Actually, probably one of their chief weapon specialists. She didn't agree with the war and the efficacy of what the Klingons were doing and what they were making her do. She
Indeed.
fled. She fled. She was shot upon by the Klingon Empire and ended up crash landing here. My recommendation is that we do give her political asylum.
Commander Phlesc. Commander Gerkow. What are your thoughts on this matter?
Captain, we should grant her asylum. She could have useful information, but most importantly, it wouldn't be safe. She's very likely to be at risk of harm if the Klingons take her. So even if she doesn't feel like assisting Starfleet with information, we have a duty to save her.
I see. Commander Gerkow, do you concur with this analysis?
So far, I concur. Her story seems to track with what evidence we have found on the ship. If we can't grant her political asylum, perhaps we can take her as a prisoner of war.
Interesting choice. Lieutenant Garrow, as security officer and tactical officer, I would appreciate your tactical concerns. If you have any input.
If we do give her political asylum and or take her as a prisoner, we would have an entire Klingon ship to deal with. Granted, probably not that we can't take care of, though.
Do you view it as an acceptable risk to take the Klingon on board? Sorry, Chris, I talked over you there.
It's okay, I think we fight the Klingons to death. Like, blow up the ship or something.
Make the Klingons death? Well, okay.
Sneak the Klingon
What kind of ship are we talking about, Captain?
Current estimations place it as a Vorcha-class attack cruiser.
If it's alone, it should be worth the risk. Anything more, and we might be pushing it.
Agreed. Offer the fugitive the political asylum she wishes. We will then gauge the response of the Klingons. Although, from past experience, I have to conclude that they will take the opportunity to take her by force.
If that's the case, we're sorely undermanned and low on weapons down here.
Indeed. Then I guess it is time we came up with a plan. In which case, it's time to come up with a plan, folks. Yes.
Matt, is there any way for us to, because they're going to be scanning, aren't they?
You would think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Is there any way to make sure that, well, first of all, the ship cannot be found? Something we can do to the ship. And second of all, well, they're going to find a Klingon life form, a single Klingon life form down here. Is there any way for us to mask her life or her life form from a scan?
Well, the interesting thing about that question is that you weren't able to determine that there was a single Klingon life form from orbit. something in the area, more than likely the level of pollutant, but also quite possibly the very mineral deposits that are around the crash site may very well have had some kind of scattering effect on the ability to actually locate an individual life form up here. That was why you had to trudge all the way down here in the first instance. So there's already something present, but you got to imagine. Well, actually, maybe you don't.
Gerkow, being a tactical officer, would think that the Klingons are probably trying to trace this communication, whether it's secure or not, and we better plan for the worst.
We need to... Alright. Actually, I have an idea. If we do if we can get this flight worthy, I'm not saying that it should be manned, but if we can get this flight worthy, can we try and remote control this Klingon ship?
Bethany,
so it goes out.
Can you remove food out of Diamond's way? He's coming in to have a look. Sorry, I had to talk to my daughter there. What was that last bit? Sorry, Dave? Can you get it flight-worthy enough?
To get it out of the planet's atmosphere using a basically a remote control, getting our glorious con officer to remote control a ship again. To make it look like she's trying to escape.
It seemed to be. But the moment he smacks one of them in here is the moment he goes out. Interesting solution. Okay.
Is Starfleet going to take part in subterfuge?
Seeing as we're at war at the moment, yes.
I prefer the word
Okay.
Is it
Unless
only
you-
subterfuge?
Unless you want to fight a load of Klingons down here and fight a
Space battle?
massive Klingon, what essentially is a battle cruiser, then
Hey, let's just say Phlesc isn't the only one with a palm leaf for Picassi peace mission.
Wait. Okay.
so how would you like to do this?
I don't think we need to sneak her off at the moment. We can be loud and proud, fix the shuttle, because in the end we are in a world that's pre-warp. So I think first things first, we got to get out of here. We don't want to have any battles on the planet.
Well, if we fix the leak and
Yeah.
it disperses the trail, the Klingons are less likely to narrow their search down to where we are, giving us time to work out what we're doing with this shuttle and getting it and her off the planet.
That's assuming they haven't been able to trace to where we are.
Yet.
What's
Well,
our
let's-
status on the fixed time?
I am very
Well, that's-
skeptical of those rolls. And I'm almost certain Matt succeeded.
Then I've done my job. In which case, let's have a look at how well Tavish and Phlesc have managed to do repairs, at least at stopping that leak. So, control and engineering to do with repairing, please.
Control engineering.
I'm going to help too.
Repair team
Come
leader,
on.
direct and lead repair teams, the team being just you and them. So,
Yep. If you succeed, I can do more repairs, hopefully fix some more of the ship by spending momentum in order to gain some momentum. We've got that one. Yeah, I've not used that one yet, so we use Medal of Honor. Boom. Nope, that's the wrong button. Use one of them.
once per mission, you may gain 2 bonus momentum on a successful task. That may not be saved.
It
Okay.
may not be saved, but I may be able to use it to do more stuff on the ship. And a star-cross to
Bring it
double
all
focus
in.
range.
Alrighty.
Right. I want to fix this and hopefully...
You don't need my help in this then.
Oh, no, join in.
No,
Because
no, mate. With the amount of stuff you're using, there's no
Just for
point.
shiggles alone, you know.
What happened to chaotic? What happened? The chaos has died out, has it?
Apparently, chaos was
Well-
was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so there we go.
Yeah. I mean, if you did help out, it's one more dice. It's not into there. Because I'd like to build up some momentum.
Good point.
Okay.
Yes,
Come on,
we might need all the momentum we need, or we can get.
Yep. So in we go. Ooh.
Let's see how far we got with these repairs. That's
Not that
What
good.
is this?
one dice.
Wow.
Control and engineering. Anything to do with repairs.
I haven't got anything.
Then it's going to be talent alone. Alright, which is still
Nice.
significant enough. Okay. You patch up the leak so that the leak stops. Yes. You haven't repaired any of the systems of the shuttle. You've just patched up and stopped the leak. You've closed the fuel valve. You've patched. You've welded shut the actual crack in the thing. So
We are... So it was successful. So got the 2 bonus momentum because it was successful.
yes,
And
yes,
then
yes.
with repair team leader, I can spend 2 momentum. So the 2 that we lost anyway, because they can't
Yep.
bank that bonus.
Good point.
To repair something on the ship. And I'm thinking power or
Yeah.
engines.
That would certainly be what would be needed to be repaired if you want to get this thing airborne again as a diversion. So yes, I'm saying that's probably a very good usage.
Yeah.
So that combined very nicely. Very good. Well done. Okie dokes. So, can I please have Garrow give me an insight and security with a focus on survival, please? Liz. Ooh, very good, very good. Right, so in which case, 1 momentum goes into the bank there. Garrow detects a slight shimmer he sees a little distance away. And then starts noticing movement in the undergrowth in that direction that suggests that something is now moving. And the way the undergrowth is getting pushed aside in places suggests someone's or some things are now moving through the forest land at the base of the tall hill that you're on, and they are proceeding slowly but coming in this general direction.
Is it reasonable to assume that the shimmer of light may have been a transporter?
It would not be weird at all.
Yeah,
Can we
girl's gonna look.
scan?
Go on.
Girl's gonna look like I think the Klingons are coming. We need to hurry this up.
The Klingons are coming. The Klingons are coming.
Launch the ship. I fixed it a bit.
Didn't you want to set it up so that it could be remotely piloted? Or are we
Oh,
just
wait,
going to
yeah.
get in and fly this thing now and hope for the best?
Oh no,
Transport and last minute.
That's the
Yeah.
case. You might want to have your helm off to come down if that was the case. I don't trust any of y'all flying.
Yeah, I didn't think remote piloting. I was just thinking like set it to just take off and we run off to our shuttle. But
You
remote
were
piloting
beamed
is the
aboard.
best option. I was beamed. All right, we'll beam off, but we can definitely remote pilot it instead of just launching it in a direction and hoping.
So you're just going to essentially tap in a set of coordinates, hit the autopilot and run.
Yeah, seeing as we're pressed for time, launch it.
Hey.
Is the autopilot working?
Well, you're about to find out, aren't you?
That's it.
Correction. I trust
All right.
Connie
All right.
to maybe do something as Gerkow when it comes
Well-
to pilot.
Okay.
hell
Tavish
is
is gonna get
this
it.
car?
Tavish is gonna get in the ship. She's then going to ask, put in her USB port to her comm badge.
Aha.
Ask Nylil to encrypt the message she's just about to send up to the combs.
Ooh, you're just saying encrypting a signal. Okay.
Yes. She's going to go, I'm just about to fly the Klingon ship. Can you make
Are
sure...
you sure you want Tavish with her con of 1 to fly this Klingon ship when you've got
Okay.
Why are
Gerkow
we
with her con
flying
of
it?
3?
I know.
We don't want anyone on it. The Klingons are going to go after it.
But you at least
We are
want
not
somebody
gonna
to
get-
program the pilots.
Yeah, we want to program the autopilot.
Right, how are we going to do that before the Klingons get here?
Quickly.
Quickly, yeah.
Engineer.
So it depends what you prioritize most.
I don't think it's worth trying to set up a remote pilot. That will take longer. Let's just set some coordinates, launch this thing, because a fixed propulsion should be good to launch for a bit and give us a chance to beam off.
Mhm.
Ooh. Hey. I'm going to ask for somebody to give me daring and con in order to quickly slap some coordinates into the navigational computer of this shuttle.
My con is 3.
Yeah,
think
out of everyone, I trust Connie because she has the highest con of everyone.
Yeah, it's on you.
Oh, it's not all on
At
her.
least-
Give me a moment.
Or at least, highest con on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Alright then, give me a roll of 2 dice. If you've got any focuses for con, which I'm not sure you do. Extravehicular activity.
Extravehicular. Yeah.
Basically put turn the engine on, put a brick over the accelerator and run. Gotcha. Ooh. Yay! Alright, so that's that. Now I would like... Let me see how best to do this. You've got 2 options here for this next bit. One is to let Garrow come down and speed you away from this area, since he's got the highest fitness and security. But because he's got the highest security, Garrow would also be very good for looking out for how close the Klingons are. So it depends on how best you want to do this. Who would you like to be the lead in getting everybody to run as fast as they could? And who would you like to be the one to see if you can spot how close the Klingons are to coming up upon you?
Also, is Garrow okay? I don't think he's been on his back for like God knows how long.
No, he's just looking that way.
No, Geralt is just prone to keep his silhouette low while he's on top of the hill.
I see.
Nagi.
Okay, so is there really a need to run from the Klingons ourselves if all we want is, if we can get Dyneth out of here with someone,
Oh yeah,
then,
you're gonna beam her
as
out.
far as the Klingons know, just,
Yeah,
surveying.
you can do beaming out instead, yes, so...
Yeah, but if we beam onto the combs, if the Klingons are, if the Klingons are here, then if they see a transporter onto the combs, they're going to scan the combs and find the Klingon.
Yeah, we should beam up away from the site. So I reckon keep Garrow as a spotter, and Gerkow can shepherd us away.
Perfectly honest, getting that ship and making them focus on the ship will be better than...
Yeah, that's precisely the reason I don't want to be on the ship. If they're focused on it and they've been shooting it, what if they blow us up?
No, I'm saying if they're focused on the ship, they're not, and the ship can get out of orbit and away from this planet, they're going to go after the ship and not really care about us, are they?
Unless they detect the ship
No
taking
life
off.
forms?
Yeah, a ship with no life forms takes off, and then a transporter beam roughly where it took off. It's suspicious. They might check.
So how would you like to do this?
I think Gerkow should shepherd us. Garrow spotting, launch the ship, and we leg it. And then once we're nearby, something to hide in, we beam aboard.
Oh,
The
would you? How do you envision Gerkow shepherding you all?
Menacingly, like
Yeah, I
snappy
picture.
ass.
Yeah, I picture a girl like running behind him, yelling at him to keep moving.
No
So-
one. Who did we bring the? What's it called? Anti-grav
The gra-
sled.
No,
No. No room for that.
Damn it. Maybe we could jump down this little. It's not a waterfall, is it? Or
It's not a waterfall, no. What does that look like? That looks like an 8-foot dip in the ground before you come to a ledge that then leads to the reservoir.
unless you
I
want to do a
mean-
running jump off the edge right here, right into the
I
water.
mean,
Yeah. And then we beam just as we're about to hit the water. We beam aboard.
okay, I like that.
Nice and
Interesting.
dramatic.
Right, so this is going to need...
It's impossible for Zombie because he has to lock on. Beam them while they're moving. This is gonna be great. What could go
Yeah.
wrong?
Yeah, exactly. This is why you need the mighty Zonvagor as your transporter chief. I was about to do something. What was I about to do? Besides chuckle.
Chuckle.
I
That
had
was it.
something in mind and it just left me. Damn my ADHD brain. You were going to set that off. Okay, so we'd already done something with insight and security. That was you encoding. Or was it? Control and engineering. I have lost the thread. Oh, daring and con. That was you inputting a very quick direction for this thing to launch into. Oh, okay. We want Zonvagor, don't we? So that means that was what I was after. Jeez, I eventually remembered. That is one more crew support activated so that we can use Zonvagor. And he will be aided by the ship, of course, unless there's anybody else present who wants to aid Transporter Chief Zonvagor in beaming everybody up at a precise moment.
Could
All for
Bonnet
Zonvagor.
theoretically try to help calculate their movement trajectory using her knowledge on stuff moving?
Interesting. I could go for that. Let's see. You don't have a specific focus in that kind of thing, funny enough, but I am going to allow you to give me reason and con as a means of utilizing Bonnet's ability to judge distance and speed. Yes, that makes sense to me. So Bonnet can definitely assist. Zonvagor, who hasn't rolled in a bit? That'd be Chris, really, wouldn't it? Yes.
Yeah, I can do a roll.
If you could be Zonvagor for us, and with Liz as Bonnet, can I have... Let me think. Who's rolled and who hasn't? Dave, do you fancy being the Combs?
Okay.
Bonnet, well, she's used to calculating ships, not people, so yeah, that's no surprise. With
So
the
yeah, they're smaller than
combs.
the shuttle.
With the combs, can I get one dice doing sensors and... Gotta go with sensors and security here.
Am I doing like reason con as well with like a focus on sensors?
Zonvagor. I was thinking control and engineering is more a transporter thingamajigam.
Sure.
With his focus on transporters.
Yeah, lovely. Right.
So it's all down to Zonvagor. And wouldn't you know, he delivers. Spot on. I was aiming for 3, you got 3. Yes, calculating the speed and trajectory of living individuals is a lot harder than manufactured vehicles. Absolutely. So yes, you do manage to create a transporter beam that goes off the instant folks jump as a shuttle, a crash shuttle, takes off. So, and you kicked the thing into action, so essentially everyone, and you were including Dyneth in this, weren't you? Going to beam her off?
Yeah.
Cool. Bringing her on board, so I will, rather than going back there, I'm going to just place the away team back here on the bridge, but I'm also going to include Dyneth herself, as there's a sudden flurry of activity. And yes, Zonvagor, with assistance from Bonnet and the combs itself, are able to successfully beam aboard the combs. Now, as soon as you guys beam aboard the combs, you see the view on the main screen is that of a small vessel moving off on its own on a bit of an erratic course. And then, with a ping from your sensors, a ship decloaks some distance out, and it's the Vorcha attack cruiser. It swings around and tries to land a tractor beam on the smaller shuttle, which it manages to. Whilst this is going on, what are you guys doing?
Away!
Captain.
Run away!
Captain.
Bonnet is immediately
Whoa.
trying to move away the ship away from the orbit, away from the core of the ship.
Dave, you were going to say something.
Captain, warp now, maximum.
Putting coordinates to nearest starbase.
So this is going to be as fast as an escape as you can manage. Okay. Bonnet, assisted by the combs and anybody else you want to bring in. Or is it going to be all on Bonnet? I mean, again, you could use one of the commanding officers to give it a bit of a boost. You know, to suggest a starbase to go to. What would you like to do? Because the Klingons, it's not going to take them long to realise there's nobody in the shuttle.
And I try and give her even more speed.
You can, yes. It's going to be a daring and engineering type thing, and it's going to do with your focus off warp engines. Is there... No, I don't think you do have anything like that. Oh no, not again. Well, yes, exactly. This makes Bonnet's eyes light up with glee, however.
I mean, I don't have to do it if people don't want me to.
What's the worst that could happen? Don't do it. This will be fun.
As I said, I don't need to do it if people don't want me to.
I absolutely want you to do it. It's just Phlesc is just going to go, oh no.
What's
Alright.
going to happen?
All right.
It's the resignation of what's about to happen. He understands what's about to happen. He's like, oh no.
To quote Samuel, well, we'll see how it goes. In which case, Dave, it's down to you. It's modifying the weapons, engines.
How fast can the combs go, warp-wise?
Well, there was a thing with
And-
Intrepid class. Hang on.
And also, how fast can that Klingon vessel go at warp speed?
I will have a look now. Give me a moment. There was 9.982. Apparently, no, that was a Defiant class. Hang on a second. Maximum warp. Where is the maximum warp for? No, that's going to be too confusing to read through. Where is the Intrepid class?
According to the Vulture class, their warp speed is 9.5 plus.
Okay. Intrepid class. Oh, you bugger. Where is it? Warp core. Propulsion systems. Class 9. Ah, here we are. This drive allowed the ship to a top sustainable cruise velocity of 9.975.
Alright. I'm going to put that up by 0.02.
Not 1.02?
Yeah.
So we can go 11.
No, we're not going 11. We're not going. We're not. She is. No way is the combs ready for transwarp. Okay, that is not happening. She is not that. She is not that crazy to put everybody in danger.
You say that, and yet, past experience would suggest.
Alright.
Actually, no. Yeah, you're totally right.
She hasn't ever put anybody in danger. With the
Not
stuff she
deliberately.
does.
Not deliberately. Certainly.
No. So yeah, 0.02. So 9.99. I want to get us to.
Yep. Okay, so you want to increase.
I'm going to also use determination.
Okay.
I am going to use Mad Engineer. To make this go faster.
Painting go faster stripes on the outside of the ship. Gotcha. Alright then. Go for it.
Hold on.
What's up, buddy?
What episode is this?
Ooh, we are on
Yeah, I know you can
episode
tell.
32.
Still same star date, right?
Still same start date.
I don't know what to put.
Help outrun the Klingons to...
Add engineer, yeah. Increased warp speed to outrun the Klingons.
Okay.
already have mine already logged.
Nice, very good. Thank you very much. Oh, the giggling, it just makes my day.
Okay. Right, using the determination.
Yep.
daring and engineering.
Absolutely.
Focus on. Hold on. What does a Starcross do?
Should give you a boost to your focus, essentially, if I remember.
Alright.
The folks with Starcross will be able to correct me if I am wrong. Because I seem to recall Phlesc used Starcross earlier.
Yeah, it doubles focus range. So if you have
So
5,
put
it becomes
dedicated
10.
focus.
Okie dokie. So. Starcross as well.
Let's remember to tag the box that says dedicated focus.
Okie dokie. So. Is it. Just.
One
tagging
dice if you are
dedicated
using determination.
Alright, 1 dice.
Unless you are buying more dice with momentum.
That's up to other people.
You can buy 1. It's only 1 momentum.
Okay, you've got 2 agrees.
Do
So
I
now you
click
can
the
roll
focus?
2 dice.
Do I click focus as well?
Yes. I would hope so.
So tick all of them then.
All of the boxes.
What's the complication range on this?
Standard.
Leave it. Standard.
Okay.
Leave it as it is. And you rolling 2 dice and
Spend a
Plus
threat.
2 dice.
Make it 2. This could go wrong. Put 2 in there. Complication range.
complication range.
Okay,
Damn it, Dave. Yeah.
Thank you for reminding
Alright.
me.
It's alright, mate. That's what I'm here for. Make things harder on myself. Alright. Alright. Focus ticked. Dedicated focus ticked. Using determination value ticked. Complication range 2.
Good.
Number of dice in pool 2 because I've spent the
Correct.
momentum. Okay, here we go.
Whoa, ho, 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 ho. All right then. So pulling from pulling the power distribution for certain non-essential systems, chugging it past some of the safety systems by lowering the thresholds of these safety systems down so they allow a bit more through than they perhaps should, manages to allow you to pour additional power into the engines in order to attain the stated velocity of, what was it you wanted, 9.995?
Yeah.
Alrighty. So there's a definitive build-up of both brightness and the hum, the overall hum coming out of the warp core, as the entire engine crew just looks around and feels the deck plates thrumming under their feet as all of this extra juice is now thrown into the propulsion systems. Bonnet! It's time to
Yay.
put the pedal to the metal and your foot to the floor.
Please try.
Yep.
Please control this.
I
shit.
would like somebody to be the combs, because the combs also gets to assist.
I am
And
not
it's
being the
double-
Combs.
And it's double range focus because of hands-on pilot.
So the combs doesn't have to, or do they? Or do they?
It still does. It's just double focus.
It's double focus range. Okay. Who would
Also,
like to...
this.
Oh, yeah. Once per mission, you may reduce the difficulty of a single con check by 1. Alright, so now it's 2. Very good,
Plus,
very good, very good.
It's control and con, right?
It's control and con, yes.
All right, using.
But first, I would like... Chris, you about?
Yep.
Can you be the ship once more for me, please?
Yep.
I would like you to give us engines and con, please. The ship gets to use dedicated focus for this. Ooh!
Mad typing from Bonnet. As
Yes,
she's like,
yes.
Fast and Furious focus.
Oh, yes.
Can I get another? Can I buy another dice?
Do it. absolutely do it.
And away we go.
Well. From 2 momentum in the pool to full momentum in the pool, the nacelles whir up into place, and there is, of course, the dirt. And everybody, and I mean everybody, feels themselves thrown into their chairs as the inertial dampers suddenly, not redline, but as Phlesc is there looking at the energy balance, the inertial dampers suddenly go up in power usage by quite a bit. As Bonnet.
I forgot to sort them out as well. My bad.
Oh yeah. You just put extra voomph into. You poured nitro into the engine, into the fuel block. So, and
Bonnet was more happy to press that button.
I picture Bonnet giving a whoop, giving a very happy whoop as the ship kicks forward at extreme velocity. So much so, I'm going to say, so much velocity was packed into that warp, that warp stamp, that run that she's now just made. You pass the Vorcha ship, and the warp wake you create throws the Vorcha class off to one side. They literally get buffeted by your wake. So if the Vorcha had any suspicions about the guilt of the combs at this point, it has long since been dispelled. But it was very much a case of most people here have seen Spaceballs, the movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's that moment when they went to plaid ship as this ship goes tearing past the Klingon ship, throws the Vorcha cruiser to one side just from the amount of, well, there's no air displacement, but the sheer warp wake you create. The Klingons are just left going, what the hell? Which, of course, prevents them from going to warp as fast as they possibly might have needed to, were they going to attempt to try and chase you. So, you put the Klingons in your back mirror very quickly. And Bonnet probably doesn't take her finger off the accelerator until you're very nearly at the very starbase that you were aiming for, which was a nearby one. Let us go with consulting the map and having a little look at where that could have been. So we're on the Klingon border. I'm going to pick one at random and say we are going for... Would we go for that one? I don't know.
Bonnet's gonna basically drift the spaceship into port.
Slam on the anchors, as it were, and just do a handbrake turn into the parking spot. Yes. I think, given the amount of speed you guys put on, you've cleared that area and gone all the way up to the Rigelian sector. Yeah, we are. Starbase Rama. You cause a bit of a stir, let's say, when all of a sudden there's almost a scream down the comm traffic line of Ensign Ravelon saying, "We're coming in!" And Starbase Traffic Control has to scramble very quickly to give you an avenue to clear your avenue of entry as this comb suddenly comes into system at great speed and velocity, and it takes a good degree of Bonnet's self-restraint to pull back the throttle and go back to impulse speed, but she just teases it a little bit over the impulse speed you were really supposed to give when you come into docking speed.
Can I ask a really important question?
Yes.
A really serious one as well. Yeah. Did Bonnet do a handbrake turn?
I think she gave pretty much the equivalent of by this point.
Yes.
It was bringing it to a screeching halt.
All the while she's smiling, and if Tavish throws a hyperspatter, she would say worth it.
It's actually Councillor Sachs is there going, I am getting an overwhelming feeling of euphoria here.
I'm glad I could believe you, Councillor Sachs.
Mr. Sachs is there going, wow, this is actually quite a lot. I'm going to have to... Whew, excuse me a second, as she's fanning herself. This is a lot. I need to sit down, and so does Bonnet, trust me. So, blimey, yeah, crikey. I am going to say that you got away from those Klingons pretty darned quick. And, yeah, you've managed to get away with Dyneth. So, The main issue here, of course, is that you have someone who has requested political asylum. So there are hoops to jump through. The Klingons were not best pleased that you made off so quickly. But of course their request, let's say, for their fugitive falls on deaf ears pretty quickly, because you were able to get back into Federation space so quick that it gave the Federation the Federation officials in the area ample time to say she's officially requested asylum here in the Federation, and here's the paperwork.
God damn it! Paperwork. The Klingons' weakness. Sorry.
Well,
Goddamn bureaucrats.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we made them a little bit mad. It's like they probably had to quickly whip up the paperwork and probably weren't happy about that.
the good news is you got there so damn fast that the Klingons were confused about what happened for long enough for them to eventually, they eventually get wind of what happened. They have to piece it all together, because all they got was, you guys were parked there looking for an oil spill, and all of a sudden you break out of there so damn fast, you leave the Klingons literally spinning in their seats. But nevertheless, what happens is you are debriefed. You have to be debriefed. The entire crew has to be debriefed on what happened, and Dyneth, how you met her, how she seemed to you, what drove you to get her to request political asylum, because it comes up if nobody lies, and they really should feel a need not to lie or even put any half-truths in, then you have to confront the reality that you guys suggested very strongly that she give political asylum. She request political asylum. So it wasn't actually Dyneth's. It didn't come from her originally, it was your suggestion. And the Klingons can and will kick up a fuss about that, because they could suggest that Dyneth was coerced. But, of course, you can and do dispute that, because that's pretty easy to come across. You just get some kind of... you can get a medical professional like Dr. Sott to observe Dyneth's biometrics whilst she's being questioned. Yeah, Mark, go ahead.
What would be the Klingons' route of escalation there? More war?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it?
Like, there's not a lot they can do there. If we were at peace and it was a diplomatic incident, but at the moment, they're doing horrible things. It's not they can kick up a fuss, but until peace is negotiated, they can
Which
eat it.
is the strong position you find yourselves in, essentially, yes. So, good point, well made, and coincides nicely with what I was about to say. So, yeah.
So it's not down to her artwork. We're giving her political
It's
asylum.
definitely not down to what might pass as artwork. You know Klingons have got an artistic side to them, and this was not it.
God damn it.
So, but Dyneth is very, very pleased to suggest that, she is just a weapons specialist. That's all she's ever known, that's all she's ever done, that's what she's good at. And needless to say, your friends in Starfleet Intelligence want to see her very, very quickly.
Oh.
I knew that would provoke a response.
Well, we're not going to compel her to do that. She can opt in.
I can neither confirm or deny how much I hate them. And finding that out, I am going to send them a email which has a virus in it, which is just going to give them a load of pop-ups. And I'm not doing that.
Did you need me to ask the question? You didn't.
No, I'm not.
How would you like to address the situation then that Starfleet... Well, it makes sense that Starfleet Intelligence are going to be very, very, very interested in what Dyneth knows.
So I think it would be suggesting to Dyneth that when she does speak to Starfleet Intelligence, because she's going to have to, at some point, is make sure that she has a representative with her to make sure that all of her rights are being
not infringed in any way.
Infringed in any way, and that she has, the freedom to tell Starfleet Intelligence what she wants.
Without coercion kind of job.
Without coercion and stuff, yeah.
Very good, very good. Now, if I recall, a certain science officer you have here is well versed in interstellar law.
Is that Gerkow?
It is Gerkow.
Best lawyer ever. Hold
Yeah.
on. Your name isn't Phoenix, right? Is it?
Which should be ironic considering what Chris's next.
Yes. Yeah. That's the reason why I said it.
They do call me the Phoenix on the dival tables.
Well.
Oh.
Just when you think she's down, she gets right back up again.
Does it always go to the right as well when you're playing on the tables?
I think that's a rather personal thing to ask, isn't it?
I wasn't even thinking that.
Well, too late, I did. So, yeah. No, that's actually a really good idea. I think one of the best people to be placed to ensure that Dyneth's rights are adhered to would definitely be Gerkow. She's well placed to do so. So,
can I ask Gerkow for a favour?
That's entirely
You
up to
can
Gerkow.
ask, won't be granted. Not necessarily will be granted.
Yeah, it's up to you. But can I sit in on it, but not say? I'm not going to say a word, not one word. I just want to sit in there.
That was my only condition. So sure.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm just going to step down the Starfleet Intelligence.
Gerkow, knowing Tavish like you have come to know her, she is the definition of cannot sit still. At least to me. So, you don't know how long she's going to be able to sit through an actual court proceeding without getting bored. But at the very least, you should be assured that Tavish seems to take this kind of thing seriously enough that she shouldn't. Well, you'd hope she would take it seriously enough that she won't speak up during points where anyone of Starfleet intelligence is going to make their plea. Just stand up and go, "No, you can't have it," or some such like that.
No, she promised she wouldn't say a word, so she
Promised to behave.
Yes, she promised to behave. She's just going to keep on giving them dirty looks.
So ultimately, I won't ask Connie to give me any kind of role in regards to how well Gerkow defends Dyneth, because I don't think there's any question about it, really. I mean, we've already established that Gerkow is good and knowledgeable at this. And simply having Gerkow as an advocate for Dyneth will work more than adequately in making sure that Dyneth isn't black-sighted, isn't renditioned somewhere off and gets her brain drained of all information. So I'm going to confidently say that after getting debriefed by Starfleet and the Admiralty, Gerkow is allowed to be Dyneth's lawyer, her advocate, and as such, she is treated as someone who has as a political refugee, essentially. So, Dyneth does not. She doesn't do what Starfleet intelligence hoped she would do, which is essentially give them the design specifications for every Klingon ship so that they can be remotely detonated, stuff like that. But she does at least agree that she says, and she testifies to this, and any of the rest of the crew who watch Dyneth testifying before the Admiralty will be able to get this at a later point. Unless they, of course, are there in person in order to cheer on Gerkow. I leave that up to you to determine what your characters do. But Dyneth does agree that she thought, she states quite emphatically that she thought from the beginning that the war against the Federation was a big mistake. And probably politically motivated. She doesn't say it outright, but the general impression you get was that the Klingons have been waiting for an opportunity to be let off the chain for a while. And really, this was an excuse. When the Federation essentially said, no, there's no evidence that the rise of a civilian council in the Cardassian Union is an indication of Dominion influence, and we're going to put ourselves between you and them in order to make sure that you don't do something genocidal, you believe her. You get that impression. She goes on to state that as this conflict against the Federation went on, she was being asked to do come up with some pretty heinous weapons. She mentions that the likes of trilithium weapons, metrion weapons, isolytic weapons, and even the dreaded phaleron weapon systems were being discussed. And she was encouraged to come up with anything. And that was the point at which Dyneth decided that this was not worth her honor, and this would be probably a mistake that the Klingon Empire would never be able to walk back from if they went this far. And so she decided, even though she knew that A, she'd be a fugitive for life, B, the Klingons would probably kill her rather than let her fall into anyone else's hands, and C, the biggest problem for her was that she knows that by doing this, she's robbed her family of any honor it had, any stake or status it had. She knows full well that right now her family, her entire house, is more than likely being stripped of all its honour. And we're talking probable discommendation for the entire family line. But in the end, her own personal code of honour could not live with the fact that if she developed these weapons in order to commit genocide on a massive scale, these weapons were made for killing all life in a system, for making stars, go boom. And she couldn't live with herself if that was what she was ended up being responsible for. So that's why she's here. In order to thank the Federation for granting her political asylum, she will aid Starfleet by giving them the frequency ranges of Klingon weapons so that Starfleet ships are able to better defend themselves, so that the Klingon weapons will be less potent, and therefore allow Starfleet ships to be able to weather more of a battering from these things. So, that's what happens to Dyneth. And that's what ends up happening to the fleet. Is there anything you guys would like to do during this point? Because that was a lot of talk from me. Is there anything you think your guys would do at this point? Whether to do with what's going on with Dyneth or to do with other things?
Ooh.
I would probably do two things. First of all, encourage Dyneth, if she wants, to join the Combs crew and become
interesting.
A tactical officer under Gerkow.
Interesting.
And I would probably, in my spare time, start teaching
basic engineering.
Nylel.
Oh no, Nylel. Teach Nylel stuff.
Nylel. Things like humidity, humor, tact. Yeah.
Klingon art.
Can I quickly point out the irony in Tavish teaching somebody tact?
It's Tavish's tact, okay?
Yes. So that shows how extreme this problem has become.
I'm gonna put the tact in tactical officer.
But yeah, teaching her that stuff, as she wants her to
evolve a bit.
She wants, yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, both of those things I would do with Tavish.
Interesting. Would the rest of you be amenable to the idea of having Dyneth, Klingon weapons expert, as your tactical officer?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Interesting.
Oh, well, cadet, I suppose. You wouldn't be an officer.
Cadet. Well, yeah, not elevated to. Have to earn her way a little bit, but interesting. Okay.
Yeah, because wouldn't she still technically have to go through Starfleet Academy?
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Eventually.
Is that like weird stripy jumper thing that Wesley wore, like standard issue for cadets? Do we need to get her one?
Well.
Oh dear Lord.
A discussion will have to
happen.
happen.
World.
But yeah, I mean, if she has to go to Starfleet, Bonnet would help her at least with certain parts of it, but spend most of her time on the holodeck.
Still doing her pastime. That's fine.
Question.
Yeah.
How did the combs need to be repaired at all?
No, I mean,
due to going really, really fast.
As it turns out, no.
Just as quickly.
No, you managed to successfully throw enough juice into the engines and nothing went wrong. You didn't damage the Combs' engines in any way. It had to cool down for a while. You know, let's not get beyond the mental image I'm having of most of the engineering team are just there with towels flapping at the engine core trying to cool it down, with fans and ice packs, trying to cool the engine down after it went so fast for an extended period of time. But no, there was no overall damage to the system, and that actually got entered into the what department am I trying to think of here? It's not necessarily. Actually, no, it would be the Corps of Engineers. You've now put another benchmark, as it were, on the entire Intrepid line. That it's now established that the ship has got a cruising fast speed of what was it? 9.7.
No,
yeah,
it was
9.975. A cruise velocity. You've now established that an acceleration, a sustained acceleration velocity is 995. So 9.995. So that's now been entered by the Starfleet Corps of Engineers as, oh wow, it can do that too. Okay, so that's a new one.
Brody, eat your socks off.
Yeah. Well, look at what Geordie had to deal with. He had to deal with a hotel in a top-heavy hotel in space.
Yes, he did. Who would it be then? It'd be
like I said, the Starfleet Corps of Engineers. So
the only other person I could think of that ever piloted an Intrepid class in a Star Trek show is Tom Paris.
Yep, and they're currently still lost in the Delta Quadrant, so you can't compare notes. So currently, the Combs holds the record as the fastest Intrepid class of the fleet, the entire Starfleet. So yeah,
we can get that. We can get it to we can get it up a bit more, like 0.004.
Bonnet's like sending.
Get it to 9.999.
Bonnet's sending messages to all of her classmates that picked on her back in the academy, saying,
"Oh,
I am the greatest con officer in the fleets."
So there were people in the academy that doubted her.
Yeah, they thought she was too reckless.
Okay. You don't follow protocol. You're a bit too reckless. And yet, here I am, she says, and I've done this. Eat it.
Doing exactly what you thought.
And yet it worked. Mark, it sounded like you were going to try say something at some point there when I asked what people were doing.
I was trying to have a think, but I'm getting distracted by little Frank biting my ankles.
Okay, that's fine.
But I like the idea of having a new security cadet.
Yeah. Well,
We've got
Klingons.
to fill that Klingon-shaped hole in our ship somehow.
And that actually, thank you, Connie, brings me nicely to what happens next canonically. Because a little time later, let's see, how far along are we? 3 weeks. Okay, so where are we? We have just done that. We have come back. So you guys came back with Dyneth. There were about 2 or 3 days, let's say 3 days of debriefs. Then there was the recorded session in front of the Admiralty, which took a whole day to do. That leaves another 2 or so days left of a standard week, where people were able to get up to what they got up to. Downtime and whatnot, sending messages back to their fellow classmates, and all that job, and getting the new benchmark set in by the Starfleet Corps of Engineers. So 2 or so days later, everyone finds themselves either in their quarters or at their duty stations, wherever they happen to be at that specific point, looking at a news article that comes through to everyone. And if you're not viewing it, one of your fellow crew members or a family member tags, or a friend tags you and says, "You've got to see this." It's an official announcement by the President of the Federation that as of let me see, what was it? How did this go? As of 24 hours ago, a top-secret undercover mission was undertaken by Captain Benjamin Sisko, whereupon they uncovered the presence of a changeling masquerading as General Martok, chief advisor to Chancellor Gowron, which exposed the fact that the Klingon Empire had been goaded into this war against the Federation from the very outset. And as such, at around about the same time, the Cardassians joined the Dominion and have appointed their new leader, Gul Dukat, as leader of the Cardassian government under the allied to the Dominion. The Klingons who are fighting in Dominion space were promptly ejected soundly and have limped their way back to any nearby starport, mostly Federation ones, requesting repairs. As such, the Khitomer Accords have now been re-signed between the Federation and the Klingon Empire, and so the Klingon Federation War has come to an end, thankfully. But a lot of people wonder if the Klingons hadn't been so easily goaded into this conflict, if the Cardassians have now, by the Klingons justified their actions by claiming that there were Dominion spies in Cardassian space, and they've only ended up bringing about the very thing that they were accusing the Cardassians of doing by having a Dominion infiltrator in their own midst. It seems to have been a self-fulfilling prophecy in its own way. And so, yes, the Klingon Federation War has officially come to an end, but now the Dominion have a very firm stance in the Alpha Quadrant. So what happens from here? Well, you as players probably know, because you've hopefully seen Deep Space Nine and everything that happens thereafter, but as far as your characters know, this is a very deep sigh of relief as your war against the Klingons is now finished, and so the alliance between the Federation and the Klingons is back on. But, you know, at what cost? However, in good news, this now means that your former first officer now come back if she wishes to. So, Liz, we have to ask, what does Traza do now? Klingons and the Federation are back in one, well, more or less united front now. They realise that they've been played. So, does Traza want to come back and rejoin her brethren on the combs? What do you think, Liz?
Um,
Or
I
do you
have to
want more
think.
time to think about it?
Definitely.
Definitely need time to think about it. Okay, that's no problem. But, so as a result, Lian Zhang is more than happy to step down if Trazo wants to come back. And we can make Bonnet a supporting character. But, whether or not this informs your decision in any way, shape or form, I will say that another bit of very good news that everybody gets back is because there's currently there's no actual direct conflict against the Dominion now, and because this is probably needed now more than ever after what's happened, Narendra Station is reopened. And so, your former home away from home, Starbase 346, out with the mandate of Klingons and Federation working together to explore the Shackleton Expanse, can be started up again. And so, the Combs crew, along with their families, can start moving back into Narendra Station again. We can restart our exploration of the Shackleton Expanse once more, where we left off. Now, whether or not this helps any, at the recommendation of Captain Akul, who is, if you remember, one of the is pretty much the sole, the captain of the sole Klingon crew posted at Narendra Station. Captain Akul suggests that maybe more than one Klingon ship should be posted to Narendra Station, especially because Narendra Station has, at the very least, 2 Starfleet ships. There's the Combs and there's also the Thunderchild, which is an Akira class. You also have, of course, the Venture, which is a Galaxy class. The trouble is that the Venture has links to Deep Space Nine, because the captain of the Venture knows Captain Benjamin Sisko. And so Sisko tends to call on his old friend a lot in order to get a Galaxy class size ship to help out whenever necessary. So the Venture is kind of on call, if you will, a lot. So Captain Akul requests that a Klingon ship, another Klingon ship, be added to the roster of Narendra Station. And I think Connie was seeing where I was going with this. Because that...
Keep going.
Yeah. He requests one specific crew. The crew of the IKS Dokabach. Your ship.
The Avengers ain't got nothing on us.
So, essentially, what we get here is, moving forwards, your Klingon characters and your Starfleet characters will be essentially sharing Narendra Station. Obviously, there's an area that the Klingons live in, and there's an area that the Federation folks all live in. And this essentially brings our current episode to an end, but there's a little bit of housekeeping that needs to go on now, which is essentially... and of course, the stuff to do with milestones, character arcs, and a claim we will get to. I will get to off screen, and that's all great and groovy. But unless I state otherwise, and I'm unsure about the next mission. I may still keep the focus on the Combs crew for the next episode, which is also the last episode of this season. So there's that. But we will, in Season 3, of USS Combs be bringing about the idea that you get a mission when you're on Narendra Station, and you can choose which crew you want to use. How does that sound?
Pretty rad.
Oh, Mark, that giggle. I just heard you giggle, and my first thought was, so you're telling us we can commit war crimes again?
It's a rescue mission. Come help. No, that's the Combs crew.
Well, exactly. So you'll get the mission briefing as if both, because with the Narendra Station it was both General Kargan was the Klingon representative and Admiral Hebert was the Starfleet representative, and they are They both run the show. So what we'll be getting here is when you get posted a mission, you know, the higher ups will be able to have a chat between them and decide whether or not this is something that could be thrown either to the Starfleet crew or to the Klingon crew. So yeah, if you are amenable to that, to the way that works, then that's how we're going to do it.
Awesome.
Cool. So obviously, as Mark just stated, you know, rescue mission. Yeah, let's send the Klingons in. Some missions may suggest themselves more in one direction than another. So, yeah, there's that. Plus, this might help Liz with the choice of whether to keep Traza with the Doka batch or to bring her back here to the Combs, because then we've got both crews side by side. Whether or not the Combs want to keep Dyneth as their tactical officer, in light of everything that's happened, I'm still good with that if you are.
I think it's cool. Maybe she can be, a cultural exchange.
Yeah, because originally, when Traza was here as the first officer, she asked for a Klingon tactical officer anyway, because Garrow is head of security as well as tactical officer, so having a tactical officer means you've got someone more specialized in the task. It does, and it doesn't mean necessarily then that Dyneth has to go through Starfleet. She can come in, as Chris suggested there, as an exchange officer. So there's that. So you still have that. So if you're good with that, we can still work it in that Dyneth can become a tactical officer for the Combs.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds
okay.
good.
So we'll stick her up here. It's just as well, because Ensign Akos was more a security and shields specialist. So that gives Garrow the ability to stay as security, and we can start tweaking Dyneth to be a supporting character now. Groovy. So, Liz, does having both the Klingon and the Starfleet crew make it easier, and you might want to keep Traza in her Klingon with her Klingon crew? Do you think? Or do you still want time to think about it? Fine.
Definitely time to think about it.
Definitely time to think about it. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. We can do that. That is no problem. So there we go, folks. We have come to the end of this episode and essentially this session. Our player Liz has got some things to think through. But, yeah. I definitely feel that the next episode, which is going to be episode 33? 33, which is, like I said, going to be the last episode of what's technically Season 2 of the USS Combs. It would lend itself more to the Combs crew, so this would see Dyneth's first outing as tactical officer, but we will sort all that out in the meantime. Groovy. So I just need to try and remember who we have used of the supporting crew list. We used Ravalon and we also used Zonvagor. That's important for me to remember because supporting cast when they are used, they can get improved. Pardon me, I'm putting Phlesc in the wrong station. And that includes the emergency medical drone, actually, because he got used, and so he gets a bit of improvement as well. Groovy. So we can deal with those as and when. Alright then, folks. Anything you guys would like to add to proceedings? In light of... How do your characters feel about the Federation Klingon War coming to an end? And going back to Narendra Station?
We can be besties with Captain Nicole's crew again.
Yeah.
Sott is relieved both from a humanitarian perspective and also he's missed the bar at Narendra Station.
Yeah, you get to go back to... what's the name of the Ferengi lady who runs the bar? Narendra Station. What was it called? It's been so long since we've been to Narendra Station, we don't remember. Zargo. Good old Zargo and her Dabo tables. Yeah, you get to go to the bar again. This does unfortunately mean that because you are all technically members of House Krell, that Lady Jadark is going to insist on early morning combat arena practice for everybody.
Yes. They can now have that headache as well, as Traza did.
Oh, yes. You're all
Washing my
recognised members.
Washing my hair that morning.
Interesting. We'll get to the consequences of that action at a later point, maybe.
Sorry, I just have to take Frank out for a toilet trip. Be right back.
That's fine. Well, we're basically wrapping up here anyway, so unless anybody else has got anything else they want to add? Then, no, in that case, thanks everybody who watched the stream. We hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed myself immensely here. These guys are great fun. I hope you had fun too. We've come to a very definite big plot point here with the end of the Federation Klingon War. We'll see if there's any consequences as a result of that, but that can wait until next time. We're going to have our usual inter-episode break. Which means that we will be coming back to Star Trek Combs on the 7th of September, if everybody's available.
Should be.
I hope so. Excellent. In which case, we will see you folks again in 2 weeks' time, and we hope to live long and prosper. Take care of yourselves. You're all great and brilliant. We hope to see you again, and until we do, engage in infinite diversity and infinite combinations. And we'll see you again, folks. Tatty bye.